Hello there, how are you today? It's a real pleasure for me to come on air today again. My name is Pauline Lehman. I'm the founder of Star Richards Community Initiative, a charity with a mission to raise aspirations and break the cycle of Black people on achievement in education. It's been a long time since I last came on. It's the first time this school year. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining. Please let me know who it is that has joined. Always a pleasure to know who is on watching. Hope you're well and you've had a really lovely Saturday. So, hello Aina, thanks for joining. Pleasure, hope you're doing well. Awesome. So today I've come on air to talk about a story that I've been following all week in America. I'm sure if you've watched the news, you would have heard of the sexual assault accusations made by certain Dr. Christine Ford on Brett Kavanaugh, who is a Supreme Court nominee by Donald Trump. So basically, when his nomination came up, she then came up with an accusation that she had been sexually assaulted by Brett Kavanaugh and another friend when they were teenagers, so in the high school years. And I found it really, really interesting, so I'm following it really, really keenly. And I thought that there are lots of lessons to learn, whenever, because of the heart I have for our young people, whenever I come across a story that I believe has profound lessons to learn, I always think about our young people, because a lot of people find themselves in positions where they do certain things they may not be very proud of in the future. So I thought to come on air and encourage you to, as a parent, to take advantage of this opportunity, to read about it yourself, and then maybe come up with have a discussion with your child around what happens. So basically, the lady, Dr. Ford, accused Brett Kavanaugh of attempting to rape her at a party. This party happened in a home in actually a very, very affluent neighborhood in Washington. So this was a party in which teenagers were drinking. She said there were 4 boys and 2 girls, and there was no parent in that home. So they were drinking, and then this incident, happened, obviously. And as she described, now I'm not here to take sides, anything like that, but I'm here to help us, come up with some conversations, really, really crucial, because as it stands, young people are not, their brains are not wired to think about the future. They don't always think about consequences of their actions. So without talking to your teenager, they would naturally not think about the consequences of their actions. And that is why it's our role as parents to be able to get into these conversations with them. So I'm not talking about who is right and who is wrong here, but I think we need to take advantage of this opportunity to talk about some lessons that could be learned. So what are some lessons that I believe can be learned by our young people, and some of the things that could stir up some conversations as well? I think young people need to learn that their actions matter. So the things they do today may come back haunting them in the future. So for example, if a child gets involved in a crime, and have a record, have it recorded, against them, then that could hinder them from being able to study certain careers. So those are sort of things that children need to know, that it could hamper the career. So the things they post on social media, People just go on rampage on social media posting all sort of things. And sometimes employers go on social media to see what people are posting, and that helps them sometimes, in some cases, to make decisions about whether to employ certain, a person or not to employ them, because there are some employments where credibility matters, integrity matters, so they will be looking at things like that. But young people don't know, they are not aware of that. It's still shocking that some of young girls will still post, send nude pictures to their boyfriends, and then the boyfriends would spread these pictures all over the place. So these are the sort of things that I'm talking about. They need to understand that when an image goes on social media, you can't remove it. Even if you delete it from your end, it is still there. So they need to understand that. So that is the first one. The second lesson I believe that young people can learn, and that you can discuss with your child, is that they need to take responsibility for their actions. They need to understand that their actions affect others. That is called emotional intelligence. Some young people don't just get it, that the things they do affect others. If you drink, you get drunk, and then you attempt to rape somebody, then it's going to affect them. It's going to affect the way they feel. This young girl, from the testimony she gave, seemed to have grown up with, in a very, very traumatized state. And this is not pleasant whatsoever. So they need to take responsibility for their actions. They need to understand that their actions impact others. The thing they do impact others, affect others. Hello, Abisola. Thank you very much for joining in. I've been talking about the sexual accusations, allegations made against Judge Brett Kavanaugh. If you've been following it, so that's what we've been talking about. And I've been encouraging parents to have a conversation with their children around this. It's an amazing opportunity for young people to see that something that someone did over 30 years ago can come and haunt them in future. He never saw that. A lot of young people don't actually envisage that the things they do can eventually, come biting them at a later point in their lives. So we're talking about, how you can get onto these conversations with your child. Now, the third lesson learned in this is that teens need to set boundaries for themselves. So I think as a parent, our role, as our children go through their adolescence phase, is to help them have strong values and let these values be their boundaries, because the values your child has will help them set boundaries. And these boundaries will protect them from getting into trouble. For example, boundaries could be, for example, places that they will not go to, the sort of friends that they should not even consider associating with. The sort of things they shouldn't involve themselves in. It could be drinking, it could be drugs, it could be, stealing maybe from a shop, pickpocketing, or just shoplifting, little things that are going to a shop and just taking maybe a chocolate bar and sticking in your uniform's pocket and that kind of thing. They need to set boundaries, for themselves. And I encourage you, if you're able to get into these conversations, to help your child set boundaries for themselves. If this young lady thought that I shouldn't be attending a party in a home where there is no adult supervision, that would have been a boundary for herself. She wouldn't therefore have found herself in a situation where young people are in a home having a party, no adult supervision, alcohol is being drunk there, there could have been drugs there could have been a fight and, knife stabbing, anything could have happened. So it's really important that we sit down with our kids, talk about these boundaries. They should set up boundaries for themselves, things that they will not get involved in, things that they consider as unethical to get involved in. The fourth lesson that can be learned from this story is that teenagers need to get their parents on their side. So please go back and listen to that lady's testimonial. She said she attended a house party that had no adult supervision. And she went to that party without telling her mom. So when she got sexually assaulted, according to what she said, she couldn't go back and talk to her mom because she never told her mom she was going to the party anyway. So it's really important, for children to know that the parents need to know where they are all the time. Parents want their children's best interest, because when you go to places, if you're hanging out and your parents don't know where you are, anything can happen to you and nobody will know. So they need to know that their parents are there for them, that you are there to support them, you love them, you have their best interest at heart. And I also want to encourage us as parents to create an environment that is conducive for that open communication to happen. Because if children feel that, well, I've been abused, I'm going to come and talk to my mom about it, my mom is rather going to tell me off, who told you to go there, and that kind of thing, then they won't come to tell you the things that happen. So let's leave this open communication. Let's allow grace to be abundant, such that when kids do some really silly things, I tell you, young people are young people, they will sometimes do very silly things, but let's leave room for them to be able to come to us, and talk to us about some of the silly things they've done, and then we can we can give them our support and our love. Finally, as parents, it's your role to help your child understand life. Children do not understand how life works. They don't understand right from wrong unless they are exposed to that information. So we need to be sharing with them the realities of life, the effect or impact of the decisions they make, the impact of the things they do on others and on themselves, and how some of the things they do might actually affect them in future. Let's talk to them about the impact of drugs, how people, let's show them, come up with examples of how drug abuse has damaged or completely ruined children that had a great future, how joining the wrong group of friends has affected a child and just derailed them. So let's talk about real life things to them. Real life, it could be money management, but just things that prepare them. That is what adolescence is for. It is a period where a person is going from being a child to being an adult. They are not perfect, they are not all-knowing, and that is why they have parents to guide them through and prepare them for adulthood. Could be choosing, partners, who to date in adulthood. How do you pick out a partner that is not abusive, and that kind of thing. It is for us to be open and have those conversations regularly with our children. So I've shared with us 5 things here. I just thought, come on air, make it really short, and encourage you. Please, if you've not followed it, it is amazing. Just go watch it with your child, and then get into a discussion. What do they think? Get them to talk. Sometimes by talking, they are engaging in their minds with that thing you're asking them, and they start to own it. So they start to develop some mindsets unconsciously through that conversation. It's something that you may have been talking to them about, and they're not maybe paying attention to it. But this is a Supreme Court nominee whose career is at stake, whose career is on the line, because of an accusation that was made against him when he was a teenager. So this is an amazing teachable moment. The teachable moment is an opportunity that you can use to teach life lessons to your child. So please go ahead, have that amazing conversation with your child. It is Saturday. I don't want to take a lot of your time on Saturday. It's time for family time. You have a great weekend. God bless you richly. Bye-bye.